Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Dark Farts Parody Smell Edition. And no, I did not make up that title. It does sound like a title I myself would make up, but no. This is a real video game. Well, kind of, with a real title. So, this particular game originally released in December of last year, and I know exactly what you're thinking. OCG, you oh so talented chap, you. What the hell is this game? And I'm very glad you asked, dear viewer. If it's not obvious by the game's title, this is a parody, or spoof if you will, of the Dark Souls series of games. We play as a blacksmith with rather questionable bean-eating habits who accidentally gains ancient dragon powers. It says that in the description for the game. I don't really recall that from the actual game, but whatever. Basically, we are humanity's last hope. So we set out on a quest to fart on the bad guy, or I don't know, something. So you'll go through 8 stages, killing enemies with your giant mallet thing, and using the power of farts instead of using an actual magic system. Again, I wish I was joking. I am not. This, in a nutshell, is one of those shovelware titles that we'll often find on the PlayStation Store. Usually it's crap starring anime-looking girls. So I rather have to commend the developer of this game for actually choosing to make a parody of the Dark Souls series. 'Tis not a bad idea. If only they managed to execute it even competently. As you can probably tell by the footage here, this game doesn't look the best. But trust me, for the fact that this game doesn't look the best, that's nothing compared to how it plays. I mean, yes, you can walk and you can run, but the second you have to engage in combat, well, that's when you will realize to yourself, oh no, this game's combat is complete and utter arse. No pun intended, of course. Thankfully, though, there isn't really that much combat to get into, being that most of the stages in this game are shorter than my average time spent in the toilet just urinating. Aside from the opening stage, which has got a lot of combat and go and talk to this person, then talk to this person, then pick this battle up, and oh no, there's some skeletons. We better introduce you to the game's absolutely appalling combat system. Aside from that, most of the levels just spawn you in, you'll run forward for a little bit, you might take on a couple of enemies, and then, oh, there's the stage's boss. Get rid of them, move on to the next stage, and repeat the whole bloody thing over again. So if you were expecting Dark Souls, big open world, or big massive stages, this is not it. This is absolutely not it. Like I've already said, this is essentially one of those shovelware games they throw on the PlayStation Store, charge you £15.99. Every asset in the game was probably bought from some bloody website. And don't even get me started on this game's voice acting. I don't want to insult anyone, just in case they actually did hire any voice actors for this, but every single voice in this game sounds like it was generated by goddamn AI. And if it wasn't generated by AI, well, then I'm going to have to offend you, because it is the worst line delivery I think I've ever heard in a game. What's that? You want to hear something positive? Okay. I did laugh a few times, so there is that. Surprisingly, not at any of the fart jokes, though. Which you would think would be a problem for a game called Dark Farts. the word smell in the title. But the game did give me a chuckle, and I did manage to get through the whole bloody thing. And it was a bit of a struggle, I have to tell you. Mostly because the combat is it's just dreadful. It doesn't feel right. Your character swings right past the enemies. The enemies can kill you in about 2 hits. Luckily though, the more stages you do, the more fart powers you unlock, and though they do have a cooldown of sorts, you can basically just spam them against the bosses. Who knew I would play a video game where you defeat the final boss by unleashing some kind of ultimate fart? So do I recommend you play this game? Abso-bloody-lutely not. £15.99 could be spent better elsewhere, like paying a donkey to repeatedly trample you in the head in the hope that you somehow get amnesia and forget the fact that you even played this game at all. In fact, that's what I'm going to do the second I finish this review. Therefore, I declare the Dark Farts Parody Smell Edition stinks. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another review by yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then, feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants. And no one wants to be a booby pants.